I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Championship Sunday continues here from the Hack2House Alberta Curling Series Women's Major. I want to thank all of those of you returning to see, after seeing the quarterfinals this morning, tight turnaround for a couple of these teams in the semifinals. Shawn, Joyce, Terry, Corbin with you here once again. We've got semifinal action between Gyeonggido and Selena Sturmay. Sturmay was on the ice just a few minutes ago through the quarterfinal. We're actually just a little bit late starting this semifinal from the scheduled time because they had to get the ice prepped. And then there's the pregame practice. And we're underway here now in the first end of play. Hammer guaranteed because of the higher seeding. Gim qualifying through the A. She has the hammer here in the first end of play. Throwing the yellow stones. Sturmay with first stone. And they came into the rings throwing the reds. And it's kind of looking like we might see an open end, although if she rolls to the corner and just out the back, this might be an opportunity to throw the corner guard.
Just like you called it.
Even if that had stayed in the ring, you see that every once in a while. The teams will take one hit in the middle and try to roll something to the corner, and once it's off the center line, because then the center's already dealt with, this is still a free guard. So you throw your corner guard here, and Gyeonggido going to look to play the guard to the same side as that red that's just out the back of the ring, so you can use it for backing as well. Now, Terry, we haven't talked about this yet, but I've talked about it with others in the broadcast this week. Of course, I was doing the men's last week as well. 18 teams on the men's side, but there were still only 2 qualifiers through the C, and it was the 2 C event qualifiers that made it all the way through to the final. And it's a tough spot here in a triple knockout. When you qualified through the A, you actually qualified Friday night. They didn't play a game yesterday at all. They would have gotten a practice session. But they've been a long time between games here now to play in the semifinal, and they've only played because they were the team that had the bye in the first round. And when you've got 15 teams, there's one team with a bye, and it happened to be Gyeonggido. So she's only played 2 games yet this weekend.
Yeah, I was just thinking, when they took the ice, Team Sturmay, like they've played 8 games already. So they've won 6, lost 2, and they obviously advanced, to this game with their 7-4 win over the team from Japan in the quarters. But yeah, one team's played 8, the other team's played 2. I don't know how much of a factor that ends up playing as we get this late on a Sunday.
Well, we're going to find out. It was an interesting factor last week because both teams were C events, so nobody had the advantage. But right after the last stone was done, you saw, I think it was 6 guys, or 5. One of the teams played shorthanded. 5 of them just collapsed at the backboards.
I bet.
The fatigue. It's still on camera, right? It's not. It was 9 games for them, and it's just, you give it your all until you were done, and then it was, oh, we're tired. But yeah, and probably 2 skips saying, "What are you guys complaining about? It's not that bad."
Yeah. I could play another 2.
the 2 guys who hadn't swept more than 6 feet at a time all game,
That's right.
all weekend.
When I skip, I don't even sweep those 6 feet.
I actually did that to my team a couple of years ago, and it was beyond that. I had a stress fracture in my leg, so I was playing with a stick just to keep active while we were waiting for it to heal. And we went through just the City Men's Bonspiel went through and played, I can't remember how many games, and that was what I did after we were done. I said, "Oh yeah, I feel good. I could keep playing." You know, I don't know what you guys are complaining about. I hadn't even had to get into a squat.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually my voice stands in the house with me so that he can sweep. He pushes me out of the way.
Teams exchanging hits on that stone in the rings, but not so far able to get the roll under cover. Not even going to roll towards the guard this time.
Yeah, no, this is...
Might jam that stone at the back.
Yeah,
and I think it's still biting.
yeah, it's hard to tell.
The graphic runs through the rings, so it does make it a little tricky. There's blue color there, but it might not be the rings. I think it's biting. If it's not, it's close. Might be close enough to come down to a measure, and that could happen. I mean, if that's the stone if that's the only one sitting there at the end of the end, you might have to think about taking your single here for your game. I guess you can see half of it. Danielle Schmiemann looking to make the hit on shot rock. Stays right there.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anybody take a real close look at that to see whether it's in or not.
I know, that's what I was kind of waiting for, is somebody stand over it and then give us a little bit of a signal.
Well, at the very least, like if Gim thinks it's in, she could roll towards it here and try to set up a chance for a double.
Yeah, I would think that would be the call, actually, if it was in.
And if she's sure it's out, she can stay over here and play for the blank.
That's right,
it's
yeah.
kind of important to...
I think we may have got our answer. Either way, now we've settled that score.
Yeah.
What a roll.
We jammed that rock there on purpose just so we could do that. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Selena Sturmay looking at coming down, making the hit just to remove the back one so that she can get the yellow out on the next stone. Got to be a little careful with this. If you roll out on this, it's a draw to split the rings. It's probably okay to roll off the face of it, because if Gim has to hit it, it's so far back. How does she roll far enough to not leave a double? But
yeah, I was actually kind of surprised that they didn't maybe consider playing just down to it, because if you can freeze on top of it, I mean, at least then the choice selection for Team Korea is limited. They almost have to play that down.
Yeah, but I think what happens when you freeze, and she essentially got it there, is what you're going to see right here. Gim's just going to draw around the corner guard. Yeah, that was her first indication. Then they tap to the freeze. She's back to ice at the T-line. I would be surprised if they don't just play the straight come around here.
Might as well, yeah.
I think they're saying from the hacks she can see most of that rock. So they're going to try to do the same thing. Hit it, release the back one. Keep the blank alive by doing this.
This has got to curl quite a bit here. Oh, there it goes.
hits it hard enough and squirts the red
Yeah.
out of the rings. It's still in play.
If we get any thing close to the quality we had in our quarterfinal game, this will be a good game.
Well, and certainly the Sturmay team was playing good this morning. They picked up the win. The question here will be, how does Gim do with, a day and a half off between games?
Mm-hmm.
That's always the battle you face when you qualify through an A event at any of these triple knockout events, though. And if you ask any of these teams, nobody's gonna turn down the spot in the semifinals.
Yeah, it's amazing how that happens.
You ask all the players, and this has been true for years. They'll all tell you if they could keep playing, if you were guaranteed the spot in the playoffs, you'd like to keep playing.
Sure.
But nobody's going to give you both.
So, that's right.
So you'll take the playoff spot and the little practice session the day before.
Now, would they practice at the club?
Yeah, they would have been given a practice session. Probably in the afternoon, I would have guessed yesterday, because there was a big break. There was the draws yesterday were 2 p.m. and 7 p.m., so there would have been time between draws, and I would guess that's when they had their practice session. In playdown events, it's usually timed at half an hour, in the ones that I've seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
yeah,
I expect it'll be something similar to that here. And, it's important. It's not the same as a game, but at least you get out there and get to throw some rocks. One of the things that happens in an event like this, a lot of times these rocks are conditioned before the event starts, and that's where you see some of this great late curl that we're seeing. But as the event wears on and as more and more games get played, they will straighten out just a touch. And that can be a bit of a disadvantage to the team that played their last game Friday, because they're not playing as the rocks are changing. The rest of the teams are, so they probably don't even notice the change. It's subtle from game to game, and they're still playing. So but it can at least tend to be a big shock to the team that has been off for 4 or 5 draws, and suddenly it's drastically different than what they remember.
Yeah. Well, on that last shot of Gim's, she rolled out and now gives Sturmay an opportunity to get in behind that corner guard and may potentially force a one here.
Yeah, it's not a big mistake, but it is a mistake, and it's the kind of mistake that can influence the scoreboard when it happens late in an end. I saw the Sturmay team have one of their earlier games in the event, and I will say I didn't, we were talking about this a bit in practice as well, I didn't see jackets in their earlier games. So I don't know if it's that cold in the rink, or if this factors into when you get into 8 and 9 games, you got to be aware of fatigue can make you feel colder. So you see Danielle Schmiemann and Selena Sturmay both wearing a heavier jacket, and then they've got the brusher and the bare arms. So
well, some of us are tough and some of us aren't.
Well, that's what makes me wonder, is it really cold in there, or are they just being, proactive, smart, aware that fatigue could factor in, so they're trying to conserve some body heat here? Because they might still have another game yet to play.
Yeah, I think she's forced her into one here.
I think so, yep.
Which surprises me that they're, kind of playing it that tight. It might be just a path that they are very familiar with versus anything else. But
yeah, this comes down to, again, in the preliminary round, you have to draw to the button for last rock. So all of the practice goes down the middle pretty much. Everybody's throwing that kind of that path to draw to the button. Here, Gim, by virtue of being the A event seed, had last rock guaranteed in this first end, so she would have had first practice, which means she hasn't thrown a rock in half an hour now. And this is the path she just saw, so that might play into it, I think, a bit.
Yes,
they could have thrown draws to the corner in practice too. We didn't really see them, but when it's not draw to the button, and when you got last rock, you might try to get that draw to the corner weight in your practice.
Yeah, this looks a little warm.
Usually when you don't see brushers bending over at all, that's not a good sign.
Jeez. I got 12-4 on the split there, be hog to hog. So
touches the side of the red.
It's close.
Looks like it spilled too far.
Again, you know, sometimes you think you have backing, so no sense being light. It's just a bad thought before you throw.
They're going to call for the measure, and they do conduct their own measure. To my eye, it looks red, but keep in mind, again, with the logo there, you end up with dark blue in front of the yellow stone and light blue in front of the red stone. I think that dark blue might be a little misleading. It probably,
yeah,
because it's dark blue. It looks like there's more blue there.
Well, I mean, typically you'd go, if you're yellow, you'd go one yellow. If you're red, you'd go one red.
Yeah, that's the way I've always taught when I'm coaching juniors. That's what I tell them too.
That's right.
So if the other team wants to measure, they'll ask for it.
Yes.
If it's close enough that you have to look at it twice.
Yes.
That looked like they pointed yellow.
I thought they did too.
So stops just in time. Gim will pick up her single point, we believe. We'll find out for sure.
Yeah.
We'll find out for sure when we get back from the break. We could tell you now it's 1-0 playing the second.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Don't forget your brooms.
Yep, you got it.
Come on up. Okay, well, what do you got? You got one, you got two,
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Calling all curlers, novice to pro. Asham Curling Supply's patented rotator disc system lets you customize your slider right in the store. Velcro attachments make it easy to find the sliding platform that's right for you. Shop Asham Curling Supplies, 700 McPhillips, online at asham.com.
I think Ryan's involved too, but
Well, I see a Sturmay player in the Hacks, but this might be already the second stone of the end. It is the first stone. The yellow looks to have slid into the 12-foot. So after the measurement, Gib did pick up the single point in the first end of play. And the guard attempt slides in to bite the 12-foot. Paige Papley looking to make the hit. They're going to roll that into the corner of the rings. I didn't see her indicate where they wanted to roll, but if you stay close to the nose on that, you're outside of the rings and in the free guard zone. Gim wouldn't have been able to make a play on it. Does give them the opportunity to hit this stone. They will be in the rings, I think, even if they hit right on the nose. Yi Yun Sol is the lead. Sunji Kim plays second. Minji Kim plays third. And that's already going to give me all kinds of trouble this game. And Yunji Kim is the skip. At least I've got one letter difference there in the last name.
that's right.
She actually hit the nose, and I think it might not be in the rings. I thought if she hit it right on the beak, she'd be a sliver of the 12-foot, but it looks like it's just out. I don't know that this call would have changed either way. I mean, that rock's well off to the side. You've got last rock here and an opportunity for Selena Sturmay to throw the corner guard, asking Paige Papley to make that. With her brush down, that's the third, Danielle Schmiemann. The second, Desiree Hawes. Of course, the skip, Selena Sturmay.
Yeah, she's just throwing the corner.
Yeah. She'll use that tight yellow one as the second corner guard, so she's essentially got double corners now and nothing in the middle. That's a pretty comfortable way to play with Last Rock.
Yes.
Gim looking for Kim to throw the center guard now. And then this being the fifth stone of the end, though, Sturmay will have the option to peel it if she wants to.
And with those double corners, I'm sure that will be something that she takes on.
It might be. She might go around the corners. Depends how good the guard is, I suppose. This one's pretty good.
Yeah, it's awful good, yeah. But she's going on offense.
Yeah, I don't mind this call. You'll see a lot of teams play this. The only thing that might have stopped her is just because of where that guard is. If it's higher, if it's tighter, you probably ignore it for sure. It's as good as for the Gim team. It's about as good as you could place it, because if you come around the top 4 foot now, there's a lot of distance between them. It's a tough run back. You won't find too many of these teams that are scared to take on a run back, though. They play them so often now in today's game.
Yeah, you know, if that's not in your arsenal, you're in trouble.
Well, you and I are a little older, Terry, and we've talked about the old-time curling, but in the old-time curling, if you were playing a run back, you were just happy to make contact with the rock in the rings. Nowadays, when these teams, they play so many run backs and they get so good at them, if they don't stick it when they run it back, they're not happy.
I know.
And that's just, it's mind-boggling to those of us that remember what it used to be like. Yeah. The equipment is better. Like the rocks, speaking bands are so good that they can make those shots now with weights that they can control with brushing. And once upon a time, that was hard. If you threw it that quiet, you made the run back, you might not get the rock out of the rings.
And the corn brooms didn't help matters. Corn what?
There's usually more of an issue for my opposition.
Yeah, no kidding.
I was the one using the corn broom. Yeah.
Oh dear. That's a good rock by Sturmay's team.
This one's just a little light, and once you're short on the weight, it just goes absolutely sideways. She'll rub off the guard.
This is where I think the game has really evolved, because now you go behind an opponent's rock. I mean, as you were talking about those run backs and they stick them, man, you just go from we were sitting 2 to now they've got 1 buried.
Yeah, and that's why she's thinking about going to the corner instead.
Exactly.
You know, you come around the center and there's a chance you can get 3. There's also a chance you could lose your end. And
that's right, real quick.
Because those shots are made so often nowadays, they're just not prepared to take the risk. Split the house, you know she's probably hitting the open one. And I say probably. There are teams that would come around the center, maybe not in the second end, but once they know they've got a good handle on it, there are teams that would just come around the center and make a good one with that. You put a lot of pressure on.
This is pretty good. Yeah, they got to almost to the tee line, and now Gim's just going to try and roll that thing closer to the center line. You don't see many of those junior deuces, as we used to call them.
Wanted to cross it just a little bit. Threw the big weight because they were trying to roll flat, but stays on the broom side, rolls the shooter out of play. Danielle Schmiemann will look to replace that rock.
And again, I mean, the brushers know that T line's what they're looking for. If they're a rock behind the T line, I'm sure it's not going to be that big of a deal. But they're really looking for T line here.
Well, they set up for this. I'm going to put this thought into your head just as much as anything because it's fun to think about. Is there a point you're in the end here, Terry? Do you think where Selena Sturmay changes your mind and comes around the middle? Like, is this one of those ones where you make a late decision to go for 3, and they've only got one chance to make a good run back? If they miss it, you got a shot for 3.
I'm gonna say now that I've watched that rock, no.
I cannot tell you how many times that happens where I'm looking at a couple of shots ahead, thinking about the possibilities, and then they miss a relatively open shot.
Yeah.
And now it's out that whole discussion's out the door.
That's right.
That's too bad. It would have been curious to see, like, do you go on skips first, for instance? Do you come around the center guard? You wouldn't want to be deep because if she sticks the run, but if you were full 12 around the center guard, for instance.
Yeah, no, you know what? And I think that's, I think you make that gamble, more often than not early in a game, down 1-0, knowing that you have the hammer.
Yeah, and you'd still want it to be late in the end, right? Because then you're just if they stick the run back, if they play the run back and stick it, you're just drawing for 2. If they don't, it's a chance for 3, and they don't have a chance to bail out. There's not enough end left.
Yeah.
However, you had to make the draw to the corner first and
make
her hit it one more time.
I think they decided to come around this way. I know that's not the original shot that they first looked at, but I think this is by far the right call.
I was going to say by this point in the week, they probably know how to get there from either turn, and then I checked myself because you have to again remember. This is only their game.
Third game. That's right.
I don't even know if they've played on this sheet before.
I'm going to leave that up to you to decide.
I don't know if I scroll back, I don't even know if there's a way to check sheet assignments. There probably is on one of these screens. I've got about 7 screens open as it is. Left a piece of that exposed, so probably room here for Danielle to pass that through and roll back to the corner. They could get back to where they would have been if they hadn't been heavy on the last draw.
Yeah, this has got some curling to do.
Yeah, they're already sweeping to try to help it curl. Should start to move from the hog line in. There it goes.
The weight's really good too. So
just enough to pass it through the back and out of play. Might have liked to have rolled farther than that.
Yes, for sure. But now we're at Skips Rocks, and Kim's going to try and move that rock from where it currently is towards the center line, get behind their own guard, and then it'll be your turn, Team Sturmay.
Yeah. I think they looked at both possibilities, and I don't want to give them again that announcer's jinx, but you try to roll behind the center guard, and I think they are aware that if it's going to overroll, we could roll way over behind the corner as well.
Right.
And here's the thing, though. You see this happen all too often when you've got both shots in your mind. You roll right into the port. You really have to have it clear in your mind which shot you're playing.
Yeah.
If you make the other one, it's got to be an accident. It can't be where it's coming down and you're thinking, well, we're going to get one or the other.
That's right. And as we talked, I guess it may be in the quarterfinal game. I mean, that's where, we used to just throw a guard, get it covered. Now, I mean, every team is talking about, where, real nice roll, what, where they want the guard, 2 feet, 4 feet. I mean, everything's more precise than when I started curling, that's for sure.
Boy, I would say, if anything, that might have rolled just a sliver too far. Now, it's whether or not she wants to take it on, because she's got to play the port. But if you could make the port, kill that, you're rolling behind the corner. You could tell that's what she's thinking, right? It's,
oh yeah.
This is 3. If you can make this,
yeah, you can see it. Okay, 3's on the in the cards here.
She's trying to throw this with quiet enough weight to stay under the center.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it'll go on this ice. She doesn't have to kill the yellow stone. Her second shot stone is half in the 8 foot. If she gets this all the way out of the 8, she's sitting 2. So it's heavy draw. You know,
And
your back line.
And we saw a couple there this morning where, just ticked the guard. They were so close to being great, and it ended up being nothing.
Actually, with as much as this moves late, she doesn't even have to be that tight to the guard. Probably needs to be about 3 or 4 inches by the guard coming by, because it's just heavy draw. Early indication was she might be a little warm. That's got a lot of rotation.
Yeah.
And with the extra rotation, it's just not going to curl as much. Now, if she gets to it, she could still be looking at rolling behind the corner.
She's getting to it. That's a real good shot. Sitting 2 and turning the ice over to Team Gim. You can see here it's still on the yellow rock.
And even with that rotation,
yeah,
got plenty of curl from the hog line in.
Yeah, great shot.
Now Gim can see a piece of that stone through the port. They also, I think, briefly thought about running the yellow corner guard back. I mean, the run double is there, but there's a lot of room between those rocks.
I think you play the draw we saw in her last draw in the first end. She was a tiny bit heavy. I'm certainly in favor of the draw.
This doesn't look like a draw with where she had the broom, though. I think she's playing a hack waiter at it. She initially had the broom right on the center line. That's not enough ice for draw. Wow. It would be tough to get shot rock with the draw, too. By the time you're through that port with just draw weight, you could draw to the pocket, but then your second shot. I don't think you can make a draw and stay on the inside corner of that red.
Yeah, that's hard to believe, but I think you're right. Because that curl is really good. They may need to help this now.
Well, they're
being
careful with it. It's by the yellow. It's just a question now where you want to roll.
Keep it going, because I think you do want to roll.
It actually rolled too far.
Too far, yeah. And you actually got maybe a catcher. Well, no, that's pretty steep, but
looks like you can see probably just all of it from the hack.
Yeah.
She's got ice down for probably that same hack weight.
Yeah. And this will be for 2, so an opportunity to grab the lead and play on.
Well, when you start the semifinal playing against the A qualifier, they had the hammer to start things off, and you can get your deuce here. You've already flipped the hammer 2 ends in.
Yeah. These are often momentum builders or killers. Brooms are down.
Yeah, it's the offside broom down, trying to get it to curl. Again, a lot of rotation, and that'll hold it a little straighter.
She may need this catcher here.
Well, she might have needed it, but she's not going to hit it.
Yeah.
I think it might have rolled too far.
I do too.
I wouldn't be shocked if we saw the measuring stick again.
I would.
Danielle tapped the yellow. It's going to be just the single point. So a missed opportunity there for Selena Sturmay. She does pick up the single. We are tied up once again, but Yoonji Kim will have last rock in the third.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Third end just underway here. The Hack2House Alberta Curling Series Women's Major. Semi-final on here Sunday afternoon. Selena Sturmay with her final stone just missed an opportunity for two. Does pick up the single, but as we were saying just before she threw it, that was a big opportunity, a chance to flip the hammer. You know, last rock advantage is against you in the first end, and that was the chance to take the lead early and kind of swing things in your favor, and that's a big rollout.
Yes.
When you're leading by 4, you don't mind rolling out. when you're tied and a chance to go ahead, you'd be feeling that one for a few minutes.
Yeah, that's where I think, and I didn't notice it, a lot of men's play, but I always noticed the women got together after, an end and had a quick chit chat, whether it was, to provide some positive stuff, comments, or whether it was, hey, now we got the hammer, we're gonna be aggressive or what have you. I think that's where you have to, kind of let the skipper know.
You're
skipper, we got him.
You're making a lot of assumptions about what those meetings are about. I'll tell you a story, and I'm not going to name any names. I was announcing, just because it happened to me in my home club, I was announcing the nationals for the mixed doubles. I did it in 2016 and 2017, but I can't remember which year it was that this happened. And the two teams that were playing, they knew each other quite well. The two wives, they were both couples. The wives had both played on the same team for a few years, and they both had young babies at home. And they had a shot after one end, and there were some angles in play, and the mics are still live during the commercial break so that I could hear them, and you could hear the husbands talking at one end as they're just setting up the rocks for the next end, and talking about, oh, I thought you could have played this. I was afraid this was going to happen. They're talking about all that kind of stuff. And at the other end, you could hear the wives talking, and they were talking about what they found in the diapers that morning. I gathered that one of the babies was a little ill. So, so just because they're having a meeting after the end.
Duly noted. I'll keep that in mind. Oh dear. Anyway, we got through the lead rocks, and we're now on seconds.
A little bit of jockeying for position going on here in this third end. There's the one center guard. You'd like to be the team to roll behind it, but this is going to roll way too far.
Right out.
Well, Kim's got the chance to peel the guard if she'd like to. She could come around. I thought she might peel it. You see so many of these top teams, more so than we ever did at a previous point in the game game's history, where they start thinking about last rock and the even ends much earlier than we ever did. Well, you could blank this third now, and you've got last rock and even end in a tie game.
Yes.
Now, there are still plenty of teams that kind of feel like, if I can get a deuce, I don't care what end it is. And it looks like Yunji Gim's one of those teams. She's going to try to get her stone in position behind cover and see if she can't get a deuce here in the third end. Well, she's got that one dead in behind.
Yeah. Looks like Sturmay's saying, you know what? That's a good guard. I'll get in behind that.
Oh, we're getting serious now, Desert.
Exactly.
Danielle Schmiemann has taken the coat off.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
We've got 2 sets of bare arms sweeping for Desiree Haas.
This has got enough weight. This could be good. Real good. Oh,
Just rubs on the way by, but still going to have enough curl to get a sliver underneath.
But now Jim can kind of hit and roll out to the wings and maybe keep some play out there.
Yeah, it would be hard to ignore an open stone.
Yeah.
Boy, I thought they were by it. It actually just rubbed the back end of that Yellowstone, which is why it continued to curl. Straightened it out, but still buried a piece.
To make this curl a bit. Ooh, yeah, this is
gonna make contact, but yeah. Really
Opportunity missed.
Yeah, she really didn't overthrow that either. I mean, they had to sweep the redstone to get it all the way through the rings. It's still in play.
Yeah, and I noticed that she's a left-handed thrower, so that's her out turn. So
yeah,
maybe that out turn probably doesn't curl as much.
I'm sure they were looking for bigger finish anyway, and
it
didn't look like she overthrew it, but didn't get the finish. So another opportunity. Danielle Schmiemann, the thrower this time. This one's got a lot more line early.
Yeah.
It'll still move big at the end, but they might have to bring it a little deeper to get this one fully buried.
Look at that finish, though. That's really good. Just unfortunate that it's found the back of the 4-foot.
Yeah, not the end of the world, especially when you don't have last rock.
That's right.
If you could force Gim to draw here just so she's not getting a chance to sit 2. And it's at kind of an interesting depth. If Gim was to come down to it, there's room to come down to it again.
One
and
more
shot rock.
Yeah.
But you've shrunk the scoring area. She can't really hit, like she can't see any of that rock from the. Let's put it this way: if the thrower wasn't standing up, she wouldn't be able to see that rock.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if the split is at all possible, where she tries to put it.
Yellows.
No, the split on the guard. I mean, where.
Yeah, no, I think what they're talking about is trying to split the yellows.
Yeah, no, I think that's what she did look at. But.
Yeah. It's tough. It's probably just there. And the thing about it is, if you split the yellows, now there is, well, what do you think, about 12 feet between the guard and the stone at the back of the 4-foot? There's enough room to make a play on it. This ice looks like she's playing the straight draw.
Yeah, I would agree.
This is probably one where she doesn't even want to be dead buried. If she could be half around, biting the top of the button.
Yes.
Because then she's still got it available to drive onto that red at the back, and that makes that stone at the top 12-foot kind of a threat. This is getting tight early, though.
Yeah, this is all over the front one.
Yeah, the guard. It's just no weight either.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was light the whole way.
I'm not even sure. Well, yeah. I'm not even sure she chipped the guard over far enough that she can see the yellow in the rings to run it back.
Yeah.
Like, you'd have to throw weight to make the port, and then I don't know if you get
That's
the finish
right.
you need to get to the nose of the yellow. This is a big shot here for the Sturmay team. You get one into the top 4 foot around cover. This could be a steal.
Yeah.
Like, Gim probably has to try to open something up on the next one. If you tried the out-turn draw, it's kind of all or nothing on, and you're still on third stones.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure the third throw on this rock was totally convinced that this was the shot. She stood over that rock a long time, and well, all three of them.
It may not necessarily be the shot so much as they had to take more ice to go around the guard now, and there could be questions. And if that was the question, she didn't find the right weight. Like, it's a different path than she threw the.
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide, did she hurt herself at that angle? I don't think so. I think Gim probably has to peel the red guard. Try to stay close to the nose on the red guard. If they could catch the yellow at the top of the 12 foot, they might be able to drive it back onto the stone of the back 4. Even if they just peel the both of them at this point in time, that yellow stone at the top of the 12 isn't likely to help them anymore.
No.
Unless they can run it back here. And this is already to the nose. She needs to hang it out there. Just enough to jam it.
Oh, and it hangs on too.
Yeah, likely not a big factor. How do you guard that port? Do you guard that port?
You walk the rock down and place it.
Yeah. She's thinking about straight draw, which you could do behind those staggered guards. You try to catch a piece of the button, and then if Gim plays the port to that stone at the back of the 4 foot, she might not be shot rock anyway. She's got to throw some weight to make that port and keep her shooter. It's funny. It doesn't look like that, right? Because the rock's right in the middle of the port. You figure, well, you can hit that in the nose all day, but it's going to curl after it gets through the port, whichever turn you play, and it's going to be hard to hold the nose.
And this again would probably be just a little bit more ice than the third had.
Yeah, or at least as much as, because she was quite light on hers. If you throw that same ice with the right weight, it might stay out there a bit longer.
She definitely got out to the broom. And there it goes, so.
Got room by the front one.
Yeah, this is just a question of where it's going to stop.
Right beside the button.
Yeah.
Actually, might have made the shot on the back red one even a little tougher.
It did.
They can get to the stone that she just delivered through the port, but hard to hold the shooter.
That's right. I'll be interested to see how much weight that they're able to throw here.
Yeah, I don't think she's planning to throw this hard. She's going to try to hold the shooter somewhere. Okay, there's the call. I was curious to see what they were trying to do with the shooter, because you can try to stay in front of the red at the back of the 4 foot, and it looks like that was the call.
I think that, yes.
The other option is to try to roll in behind the yellow corner guard. So broomside roll behind the yellow guard. It's just, I'm not sure if you can roll behind that and still be shot rock. It's close. It would be close.
think she'd be really happy if she ended up shot rock, no matter where it is. So yeah, this is gonna have to curl, and there it goes.
Well, it should, yeah.
There it goes. Looks like she did exactly what she wanted to do. Rolled right in front of that red rock, and she is shot. This is where that biter might come in to haunt them, though.
Well, and that stone that they just left in play behind the back of the 12-foot still could be an issue. Like, still they could play to pick it out, but it's going to have to be close to jamming on that stone. You'd never call this because it's too risky, but probably the best result for Sturmay would be double the 2 in the rings and roll behind the guard. It's hard to roll behind the guard without taking the red one behind it, right?
Yeah.
And if you left it in play, you'd be really sorry that you tried it. So I don't.
Yeah, I know.
With the broom where it is, I think she's whipping this down there and just try to pick that yellow out.
Well, I think that's, probably the safest call. You're going to sit 2, and then Gim needs to, kind of make her last shot by playing some sort of weight on the shot rock, which isn't, like, as we've talked about, isn't kind of a gimme with the way it curls. Third yelled right off, so
just needs to make sure she's by the corner. This looks like she's playing it. Oh, they were trying to make sure they hit it thick enough to go between the 2 reds. That's
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think you hit that a little thicker. Don't worry about, or hit it a little thinner. Don't worry about jamming it. Yeah. Just make sure you missed the one in the 4-foot. Those little biters, now there's 2 of them over on the edge of the 12-foot, do mean she can't play this for the blank. And again, because of how tight that board is, she's going to have to throw some weight at this. She can't throw a controlled hit because if she made the board, now she's not hitting the rock on the nose. It's not the weight you want to throw when you have to stay.
Yeah.
It's just the way it's queued up. Final stone, third end, Yoonji Gim. Facing 3, shot rock, back of the 4-foot, is open through the port.
And this is looking really good right now. Well thrown, good result, 1 point.
Sticks it on the back corner of the button. Nothing but singles on the board through 3 ends of play. Yoonji Gim with a 2-1 lead. Selena Sturmay will have last rock in the 4th.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Calling all curlers, novice to pro. Ashland Curling Supply's patented rotator disc system lets you customize your slider right in the store. Velcro attachments make it easy to find the sliding platform that's right for you. Shop Ashland Curling Supplies, 700 McPhillips, online at ashland.com.
3 ends, 3 singles. Lots of rocks in play, though. And again, as we start things off here in the 4th, we've got a guard up to start things. Paige Papley looking to come around. Could be a factor that center guard did over curl the center line just a little bit, so it's not in the no tick zone.
Yeah, it still takes getting used to that.
Yeah. Well, it matters to a shot call on a shot like this, right?
Yes.
Once upon a time, you'd if you're coming around the other team's center guard like this, you might tight ice it. A lot of teams did. I've done it myself, where you tight ice and think, if we split the guard on the way by, that's not the end of the world. Well, if it's touching the center line now, it's the end of the world.
That's right, yeah.
But that one slides just off the center line, so maybe allowed them to play a little bit tighter ice, and she gets that one right into the top 12 foot behind cover. If you've got to play safe to make sure you're by, it's maybe a little tougher to get dead buried.
Yeah.
Maybe not on this ice, but on a lot of surfaces.
Yeah, for sure.
So looking to come right around everything here. Yoon Seol. She's got the line, but they really haven't touched it yet, not even to try to bury it. This is a little deep. Yeah. It's another one of those, we're dealing with the writing in the rings, but I think it's far enough back that the red at the top still shot rock. And this call kind of looks consistent with that. They're going to play the draw to the open side now. Interesting. I think they called for it right in. You can play a corner guard here. This is still a free guard.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind that call, actually. You've got last rock and even end here. Looks like they're calling for it in all the way. I'm greedy. I would like to see the corner guard. And it's easy to say that when you're not throwing them. You're just watching the game and you want rocks in play. But
that's right.
It is a chance for a really big end, because
you're
going to try to score
right.
in 6. The first 3 rocks of the end, aside from the center line guard, it's kind of center, but it's off center enough that you'd have to say the first 3 rocks kind of favor Sturmay.
Yeah.
Certainly the 2 of them. She's got shot at the top buried, and the other stone's at the back of the 8 foot.
Yeah.
With that one being in the house and open, I think it's third shot, but it's hard to ignore opposition stones in the rings when you don't have last rock.
Yes.
She'll look to roll towards the middle.
Amazing how quick they come up in the addition column.
Yeah, they tend to end up on the scoreboard as crooked numbers. Looks to roll back towards the middle, gets into the 4 foot, but still open. This is kind of where I wish we had mics, because of course, as you'd expect them to, they talked about both rolls. That's right. I don't know which one they've settled on it. I would tend to think they're going to try to roll open side again, but
I definitely would think so.
it would be a pretty aggressive call to try to roll under, especially this early in the end. That goes back to what we talked about 2 ends ago. There might be a point later in the end.
That's right.
Where you'd play the aggressive call because she's maybe only got one chance to bail out. But I don't think you'd do it this early. Regardless, she hit it right on the nose. So it's a short roll now for Gim to get under cover. And no doubt she would like to get under cover. She wants to try to force Sturmay to open things up here.
That's right. She wants play into the middle, to the center line.
Well, she wouldn't mind having a chance to hit that redstone at the top of the 8-foot. So if she rolls underneath, well, again, the nose hits. The teams weren't looking for the same roll, but both struggled to get any roll at all. Now it's high enough up in the rings, you could try to roll in behind cover. She wouldn't be freezing to it. And you saw the indication there. Let's go aggressively for the roll. And if we roll past the guard, that's okay too. Desiree Hawes.
Got the signal that the weight thrown was maybe a little bit more than was asked for.
They started out sweeping for curl and then switched gears at the end when they realized they weren't getting the roll underneath. Tried to actually flop just a little bit to the outside. It stays on the nose, and it's a flat double, but it might be there. Even if she just rolls into the side of that red and bumps it just a little bit so that it's open, would be a pretty good result here. Big weight. This was out turn even with the broom where it was. Gets the hit. Come towards the side of that stone, and
that's a pretty good roll.
Yeah.
I couldn't see the actual call here.
Well, I can't think she could see enough of it. I'm just wondering, could she make the double and roll to the open side? Over the top, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
And hold the shooter? I think she can.
That looked like she kind of in-outed it. She's got nothing. This is...
yeah, just slides by everything. A little bit too pronounced on that set on her release. Will slide by. I haven't used this line this week, but those types of shots always remind me there's... and you're at least my age, Terry, so you might have seen this too. There's an old episode of Bugs Bunny with Marvin the Martian, and it's...
I love Bugs Bunny.
Where was the kaboom? There was supposed to be
right, yeah.
Kaboom. There was no kaboom there.
No, but there was probably a noise, and it was verbal.
Yeah. Are they straight guarding this or trying to come down to the pocket?
I'm going to be honest. So my screen is really fuzzy.
My feed is a little blurry right now too.
Yeah, so I couldn't see. It's got enough weight to be definitely in the house.
Coming around it, I think. It actually doesn't quite get by, so ends up splitting off a little bit. The stone she made contact with is now dead in behind cover, although on an angle behind that red stone where they could address it if they needed to. It's just right now, Gim is sitting 2.
Yeah.
So going to make a hit on the stone she can see. Might be tempted to hit this right on the nose. If you could exchange nose hits, would it be high enough to play the double on the yellow that's behind cover?
I don't know. But
Again, it's on the outside.
yeah, she looked like she in-added that too. Her weight might save her here.
Get back to the nose this time.
Yeah.
Maybe gets a couple of inches rolled to the inside, so she's definitely shot rock.
I guess now you're getting to that territory where, I mean, where you roll is really significant.
Yeah, if you roll to the outside here, you might not be second shot. You got a
Second
little bit
shot.
of roll to the outside,
Yeah.
but not much. If you nose it, it still looks like this rock would be a little bit behind the other yellow, so the double would be tough.
Yeah.
But if you roll out to where you're, third shot, she can play.
yeah.
She can play the red onto the yellow.
Yellow, that's right, yeah.
You need to sit 2 after this.
So much like pool, it's not maybe what you make, it's what you leave.
Yeah, well, and she's going to have something. I mean, if you hit it on the nose and she can't make the double, she can still make the hit and roll behind cover.
Yep.
You can't take everything away when there's some rocks in play.
Yeah, this is kind of looking pretty close to being an inside roll. Yeah, well played.
Was it? I'm not sure you wanted to roll.
Oh
there.
yeah,
Like, does
no,
the
you're
yellow
right.
red? Does
Yeah,
the yellow red not take them both?
Yeah,
Maybe all 3 of them, for that matter.
yeah.
I think if you were getting that roll, it needed to roll just a few inches further.
The
Kind of
red-
get in
the-
behind the red stone so that when she plays the red yellow, it goes by the
Yeah.
roll.
Yeah, that red dot that's in the dinosaur's mouth. Oh my God, I thought that was a red rock at one point.
I've done that a few times this weekend on this particular sheet. It does look like red sitting. They're sitting second and fourth right now.
Yeah,
They're not. That's not a rock on the button.
Oh dear.
I mean, I love the house. It's really nice to see some of the creative graphic design that they use for making these houses. But that particular one, and the one we saw at the other end where the blue tail feathers on the bird actually made it look like the other team was shot just because of the darker blue.
Yeah.
It was just a bit of an optical illusion. That's okay.
This has got a curl.
Makes contact, does clip the second stone. She actually hit the first one so thin that she got a little bit of drag on the second one. Still better than it was. Shot stone at the back of the forefoot's probably 2/3 to 3/4 open.
Yeah.
Sturmay has second shot at the top of the 8. That yellow at the back of the 8 that's third shot rock could still be a factor though too. If Sturmay had a shot at the yellow stone, like how does she score 2? Like she's got to get it past that stone or double it off. She can't see the inside of it. She can't make the double. If she jams it, it's beating the stone at the top of the 8-foot. If she picks it clean across, she's losing the shooter. I don't know if she's got a shot for 2, so I'm not sure why you're playing over there. Like you're guarding a shot she doesn't have.
That's right. Yeah. And I mean, and Gim needs to be asking herself, where would they like me to place it so that they can have a shot for 2?
Well, they're not going to have a shot for 2 is my point. And if you're trying to take this away and leaving her the entire 3/4 of the 4 foot to draw to. Like, which is the harder shot?
Yeah.
And to me, it looks like you're guarding the hardest shot she's got left for one. You could draw to the top of the 4 foot around the guard and take away some of her scoring area.
Yeah. Which, I mean,
there's no shot for two here.
I think that's probably what she was looking at first, and then when she looked at it, no doubt said, the only place I can't leave it is, kind of in an area where she might be able to, if I don't bury it, I might leave that double, but I don't think she would.
Yeah, it's tough to leave a double, right? 'Cause
yeah.
If you're not buried, if you're out in the open, the slash double, how do you hold the shooter?
That's right.
In order to leave it where she could make the double and hold the shooter, you almost have to have line where you're buried. So, and I think if they've looked at it and if they agree that this is just a shot for one, they're guarding the hardest shot for one she's possibly got.
Yeah.
This is not what she's playing.
No, she's playing the out-turn draw.
She absolutely was never playing this shot.
No. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not sure I see the point in that one, but I mean, you're down one, you have to play the draw for one, and this is the easiest shot that she could have left herself.
If Gim doesn't throw, she has to throw this.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm not sure why you leave it for her.
I know. I mean,
Yeah, I just don't think they thought it all the way through. Like, she didn't have a shot over there for two because of the yellow at the back of the 8 foot.
She could have played that in turn and crossed the center line, and it would have cut down probably more than she did by throwing.
Well, there's that too.
I mean,
she could have thrown a guard over here on this side too. For
Yeah.
that matter, you throw a guard at the edge of the 4 foot. Now, what's your path to get to the middle? As it is, it's an opportunity for Selena Sturmay. Her final stone needs full 4 foot to pick up the single.
Sweepers are just cautiously keeping it clean.
Line's good. They're waiting for it to curl a bit, but you know it's going to move if the weight's close. Well, did it stop though?
I don't know. I don't think. No, it's hard to tell. They moved it too quickly.
They're going to move them pretty quick. I think it stopped in time. So it's one of those ones again where we're pretty sure somebody scored one. I think it was Selena Sturmay, and if that's the case, we're all tied up at 2 apiece here after 4 ends of play going into the break.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Never be that blurry.
Sturmay got one, by the way.
Okay, good to have that confirmation. It is all tied up here in this semi-final. Hack2House Alberta Curling Series Women's Major. 2-all after 4 ends of play. Gim will have last rock in the 5th. We'll have that for you right after the break.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
So it looks like we're just about set to resume here. Players are back on the ice. More importantly, the coaches are back behind the glass. That's how you know we can start. All tied up as we begin play here in the fifth. Paige Papley being asked to throw the tight center guard. And once again, this one quite dramatically over curls the center line, so not as much of a threat. It appears to still be looking to come around the center, though. This might be an odd end versus even end type situation. If this was the even end, you might see her throw a corner guard here.
Yeah, and I'm sure they've talked about this. Not
this is in an odd end. We'll try a little bit, but we want to keep the blank alive.
Yeah.
So they don't want a million rocks in play.
Yeah. I mean, teams usually have a style that they subscribe to, and while the scoreboard can dictate a lot of the play, people have their preferences.
Well, I know that would be a long way down the alphabet if you were looking
at
ABC.
You got that right.
Back 8 foot is back 8 foot behind cover. You might be down around Z. Paige Papley, looks like the call is to come in. Apologies to the viewers as we try to do our best here to call this. I'm peeking. I know the YouTube feed is clear, but my production window is a little blurry, so it's hard for us to see the calls right now. She did come to the back 8, maybe biting a little bit of the back 4, and it's in front of that Yellowstone. Kim looking at playing the tick on the guard. Can't remove it from play. It's still in the free guard zone, but it's not in the no tick zone. That looked like she's calling for hack weight here, and this is tough. Like, you're trying to tick a stone that's whatever it is, 2 feet in front of the rings. As you come by it, you've still got 15 feet worth of weight on your rock, and you're trying to stop it in 5 feet. That's tough. You play this like a draw weight split. She's going to clip that stone fairly thick. It's a question of the weight. Actually, by clipping it thick, she pushed it more into the rings, and it went a little farther, but on the angle it was in, it stays in play, so that's a legal play. Didn't get her shooter off center. I think there's a comment from the other end about coming around, and you saw Sturmay gesture, well, if we come around, she's just going to run it back.
Yeah.
It's always a little scary coming around an opposition's guard. As much as, it's a center guard, it's a rock they like, but...
That's right.
thought about briefly hitting their own stone and killing the yellow backing to sit 3. I think this is the call, right? She's throwing the second guard the yellow guard.
Mm-hmm.
And if Gim wants to clean up the middle, she's going to have a little bit of work to do. And I still don't think they're convinced from the other end. No,
Yeah.
they're gonna,
Or Carmen.
it looked like, and again, I'm working on a blurry picture here, but it looked like the shooting end wanted to play the come around from. That was their first thought.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with the come around. You just have to be aware you're coming around the opposition stone, and this is actually one of those where you might not want to be absolutely dead buried. You make it half buried, 3/4 maybe, and then if she does make the run back, it's not likely she's going to dead stick it behind cover. If she dead sticks it, her shooter's going to roll over. Let me put it in these terms to you there, Terry, and think about this. This is how much respect these teams have for each other, where you don't want to draw around the other team's center guard because they're liable to run it back and you'll be in trouble. You've got a chance here to draw, sit 2, and she did talk them into the guard, it looks like, eventually.
Yes.
I like that call. I mean, you've got double centers now in the odd end.
I love it. I love it.
Like, I don't think Selena Sturmay wants to let her have a chance to blank here. I
No.
think it's keep the pressure on it. And Gim, because she came around the center guard to start the end, she is the blank's already in the back of her mind. If she was going full bore to score her deuce here, she throws the corner. So make her do some work in the middle.
Yep.
Makes the hit, hoping to catch that red in the corner, but it won't. That's the bonus. You're always just, you play the peel on that one. They were a little too far apart to try the double peel. If you catch that stone on the edge of the 12-foot, that gets you one shot closer to a chance at the blank. I want to discuss the timing of it when you go in, but every time I do that, somebody misses a shot, and then the progression doesn't it changes. It's out the window.
Good call.
But I'm gonna, because it's the fun thing to think about, right?
That's right.
You're gonna keep playing these guards for a couple. You expect that Gim will keep peeling, but at some point in time, if you throw one too many guards, Gim's gonna come around, and when you got offline there, this already could be the time. It's got to be tempting to come around now, right? Because you got the tight yellow
really
guard.
does.
That tight yellow guard, you could use it to run back later. Oh, I don't think I like peeling your own guard like this. I guess she's thinking the other one is high enough and off center that she's always going to have a shot to score, but I don't know about this one.
Very defensive call for sure.
I'd be peeling the red guard. You could try to get them both if you want to, but because there is angle there now. It's going to be close to putting it on the red. Now, if you stick it on the red, that's a great shot. Clips it. Loses both of those stones. Now it's just the 2 stones at the back of the 8-foot. Shot rock belongs to Sturmay. Second shot behind it belongs to Gim. And the much longer guard just off center. Yeah, I still don't see that getting you back to a blank, really, honestly.
A lot of things have to happen.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't have minded the double peel, red over the top of the yellow.
Yep.
Because the angle was there to do it. I wouldn't have minded the draw either, though, because that yellow it wasn't hooked at all. You could play it for run back later on if you needed to.
I mean, the ice conditions are so good by the looks of it, you know, and the curl. I like the draw.
It's just I'm not seeing a blank here. So if you're not going to get blank, if you're not going to be able to get back to the blank, then we'll maybe get forced to 2 would be better than getting forced to 1.
Yep.
So I think she's looking at now, can we come down with enough weight to move this and touch that other red stone on the way by? Doesn't have to kill the second one, just needs to break that lineup, the red-yellow, so that she can have a chance to move it later. Shooter's going to have to roll open to make this, but that's fine.
This is gone.
Really tight, yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's got no weight either. Again, I'm dealing with a little bit of blurry picture, but I don't know whether that was released or when it stops that short, you almost have to think it grabbed something right out of her hand.
Yeah, certainly the sweepers and the opposition's front end are kind of giving you an indication that something happened.
She was looking to move a rock out of the rings, and
I know.
So it had to have. I'm cheating and peeking at the.
Ah, there we go.
I'm going to give away some secrets here. The secrets of television, the actual YouTube stream is significantly behind us, so I can watch that shot again, but not yet. It's quite a ways behind us today. So I have an extra replay if I just have to wait for it. Regardless, chance now for Danielle Schmiemann, and they're just discussing where to put this rock. They haven't really looked at it yet, but there's still room for Gim to come around from the outturn side and attempt the same thing she was just trying on the inturn.
Is that right?
Through the port. Onto the red, move them both. I don't know whether they realize that's there. I'd be coming right down on the face of my own stone here if it was me. What does she do with that?
Yeah. I mean,
if you guard the center line side and she makes the port and makes the double, your rock's in the way.
I don't think she has anything on the outturn side.
I think she does. The port to get to the basically the same attempt she was just making. It actually looks easier from the outturn than it did from the inturn. It's just, you know, it's there from the inturn because of this ice. If you bury this full 12 even, you've probably taken it away. You don't want to stagger this on the center line side. And this is a long ways out there.
Yeah, it really is.
They're
definitely short.
Yeah, they're playing a guard. Well, she could straight draw and try to get her 2 that way too. That's just a guard you could come around. It's not far enough over that the shot stone at the top of the forefoot really blocks her path. I'm not sure what happened to that one either. I don't think that's where they wanted it.
I don't
The line
either.
was good coming in, but it's well short of the house.
Yeah, because even if you come around with the intern draw here and get it to the button, I mean, Sturmay may have a chip off of the her own red into it. especially if it's T-line or better.
A lot of room yet. Should start to move now, but it's got to go 4 feet yet to get just to the edge of the guard.
Yeah.
And this has got a lot of speed.
Yeah, this isn't where they really wanted it.
I think it stopped just in time to be shot rock.
I think you're right.
Sturmay probably has to make a play on it. That's going to leave her behind the tee line. She's thinking about straight draw, I think. You could. Got to make it. Got to bury it.
Yeah.
Skip rocks left to come here in this fifth end. Gim sits one, mostly open at the back of the 4 foot. Sturmay sits second and third.
And Sturmay has the hammer here. Or no, sorry, Gim does.
Gim has the hammer, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
I managed to just take a peek at that shot earlier in the end, and yes, it picked hard. You could see it take a big left turn.
Did you?
So,
okay, yeah. The weight's good. This looks good.
Both brushers working hard on it, though. She's got to get full 4 foot to be shot rock.
She's not full 4, is she? Oh, yeah, she is.
Yeah,
there she goes. Yeah.
The weight has held up pretty well here for 2 weeks. Like, here we are in the fifth end, and it's still sliding nicely into the house. That was not anywhere near the guard.
No.
It's on the button. And if the second guard wasn't there, it would be past the first one a little bit. A quarter rock at least.
Yeah, they don't seem to be slowing down, like, in the slide path at all. Like, it's held up really well. And you know what? If yellow is second shot, I mean, the curl there, you've got enough to push that actually back.
I know where you're going. You do and you don't, right? Now, Sturmay wasn't that close to the guards, so you can get a little bit tighter, but as soon as you throw a little bit extra weight, you don't get quite as much curl.
Yeah.
If she's going to throw, you're thinking she's going to try to move it enough to, and I agree, if she's going to move it, she's got to move it enough to sit 2, so she's got to move it just about out of the 4 foot. She probably needs back 8 to back 12 out of her hand. Well, that's an extra 4 feet of weight.
Yeah.
And still has to get to the nose. She'll have to skinny the guard. I think it's there.
Yeah. She needs to be shot, that's for sure.
Yeah. Doesn't do any good to hit this on the outside, though, and roll open, because you hit it on the outside, it jams on the red at the back. It's probably still shot.
Yep.
And you could leave Sturmay perhaps even a double to roll in behind cover and sit 4. So it's you almost got to flirt with the guard here on the way by. This is not flirting with it yet. There it goes.
No, this is going. They just curl so beautifully in here.
I think if she was going to move it, she had to be tighter to the guard than that.
Yeah, you're right.
Sits on top of it. She does have second and third now. She doesn't have anything great to run back unless you give her something here, though. That's what they're looking at. They're checking all the angles, looking at what happens if they run that yellow corner guard in. It didn't look good, so I think they're looking at the straight guard now. And you probably want to overlap the 2 red guards, right? The one that's already on the center line and the one you're about to throw, because if there's any kind of overlap at all, she can't run either one of them back.
That's right.
how much risk do you want to take on if you're Yunji Kim? Like, she'll
Mhm.
have something off that corner guard on the outside she could run in, but I don't see a shot for any more than one, and you risk giving up a steal of 2. Do you want to take on that risk?
I don't think so, but we're gonna see where this one ends up and then make a decision.
They're going to look at it. I'm sure they're going to look at the angles.
Yeah. I think as long as this gets to at least to the.
Well, it should.
There it goes. Yeah. Your shot, Miss Kim.
Yeah, what have you got? Can she get to the inside of the red on the center line enough to go red onto red and come back and catch the yellow stone into the red?
I don't know.
I don't know if she can. She can't do it far enough to slash it back and hurt herself anyway, I'll say that. They're also looking at the yellow onto the red, or maybe even direct red onto red. The problem is that's going to clip the yellow on the side, so it's just for 1. And boy, if you ever clipped it thin, you put it into the yellow at the top of the 4-foot, it's 2.
It would probably roll over the top of the red one, though.
Depends on how thin you're hitting it. If you're coming at it direct, I think you're safe. If you're playing the yellow into the red, then I think the corner guard, because it's coming in from the angle, I think there's some danger. It's hard to tell. Again, the production feed's a little bit blurry, so it's hard to tell if she was able to come through the port on the outturn, get directly to that red stone on the corner of the 4-foot, and just dead jammed it onto the one on the button.
Yep.
Who would have shot rock?
I
can't tell because it's blurry, right? But if that was there, you could play that for 1.
And I think that's what I would lean towards.
See, this is because of the angle. This is where the danger comes in, that you could clip that red very thin on the way by, the one that's just biting the 4-foot, and then it goes pretty much straight sideways into the yellow, and it could be 2. And it's still only for 1, I think, if you make it. I don't see any way
it's just for 1.
You're making a double and clearing all those yellows. You're gonna jam one of them. Well, she's settling on the angle raise, yellow into red, into red. It's going to go off the red or the yellow at the back if she makes it. So if you make this, you're going to move 4 stones to count 1.
We saw an amazing one this morning, but this is hanging out. This is close.
We're not going to find out
right.
how it's going to come off because she goes by the stone out front. It'll be a steal of 1. Selena Sturmay, first time in this game, takes the lead. She's got a 3-2 lead, but Gim will have last rock again in the 6th.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Gripper first.
Don't forget the brooms.
Yep, you got it.
Come on up. Okay, well, what do you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Calling all curlers, novice to pro. Ashland Curling Supply's patented rotator disc system lets you customize your slider right in the store. Velcro attachments make it easy to find the sliding platform that's right for you. Shop Ashland Curling Supplies, 700 McPhillips, online at ashland.com.
Still nothing but singles on the board here in this semifinal. But we do have a steal for the first time in the game. Selena Sturmay with the single point steal in the 5th. She now has the 1 point lead as we play in the 6th. First stone brought into the 8 foot. Now the corner guard being asked for. Ian Sol. Called for this corner guard fairly tight. It's only a 1 point difference. I don't know if we'd see them throw 2 corner guards here or not, but they've got that one tight enough. They've left themselves room to throw a second one if they want.
Mm-hmm. And again, this is something they would have had certainly talked about as part of their game strategy. Based on scores.
Oh yeah, they'll know what they're doing. They just teams are sneaky that way. They won't tell us. They won't tell the opposition until it's time to call the shot. Yeah. I've tried asking guys, "Are you going to throw the second guard?" And you know, some of them will answer, but I'm not sure they're telling the truth. That's a really nice guard because that first stone into the rings was off the center line. So with that guard, she takes advantage of the no tick zone as well as protecting a piece of that stone on the top of the 8 foot.
Yeah.
Yunji Kim was always going to come around the corner here, but she's going to have to deal with those rocks in the middle at some point in time. I talk about this all the time. You and I talked about this in the last game. We're going to talk about it again now. This is that game of cat and mouse, and it's fun to watch. As to, you got one team that they're putting rocks in the middle so that you have to deal with them. The other team's putting rocks in the corners. You have to deal with them, and there's a back and forth, and it's fun to watch how it plays out.
Especially when both teams are making the shots that they called.
And it's funny, I've never phrased it in this way. I've never really thought about it in these terms before, because we could talk about all we want about how there's certain scripts that the first 5 rocks tend to follow.
Yep.
But it goes in every direction possible after that, because everything depends after that on what you make, what you leave, where you roll. And there's just so many combinations. When there's 5 rocks in play to start, there's just so many combinations to where the next 11 could get played. As much as every end may start within, whatever there is, 8-9 scripts, where it goes from there is anybody's guess. And if you watch enough games, you're going to see something you've never seen before. Desiree Hawes looking to come around. Coming around the center. This is one where you almost have to be back 4 foot so that you don't leave a double, because she can see 2/3 of that stone at the top 8 foot.
That's right.
And she puts it back 4 foot, dead behind the red. I don't think she can see enough to make the double on that.
Yeah, that was well swept, well judged, well executed.
It was also the 5th rock of the end. I'd be going after the guard myself.
Yeah, I think you really have to.
Well, over the top, you might get all 3 of them.
That's right.
These teams are so good at this weight. There's a little bit of angle there. Even if you just get 2. For that matter, even if you just straight peeled the guard right now, because the 2 rocks in the rings are off center, what does Sturmay do? Are you guarding rocks off center, or do you have to kind of put the guard back in the same spot?
Well, yeah, I agree. I think you try this. I mean, and even if you only peel the top one, I mean, Sturmay's got a choice to make, and is she gonna
They
peel
they,
the
they do not
corner
agree.
guard?
They do not agree with us ever
Yeah.
at all in this game. I kind of get where she's thinking though. She can see so much a shot rock. This is a chance to get another rock in the rings. And, you know, to be fair, if she makes that, doesn't even have to hit the second one. Just hit and roll to the wings. Now you're sitting second and third. Well, how does Sturmay ignore those?
Yeah. She just can't hit and roll out, and she's not going to, by the looks of it. Yeah, now she's got 2 rocks in play that are in the house, so they're potential counters. So
Shot stone's behind the tee line.
yeah.
Sturmay can't ignore a bunch of yellows. This one's open, so she'll make the hit and try to roll back behind cover. Cat and mouse, cat and mouse.
Yeah.
The key was the weight she threw there. If you're going to play that shot instead of the peel, you've got to keep the shooter. You have to make Sturmay make a play on this rock, which is what's happening here.
Yes. She's going to roll a little bit under. Too far, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, too far. That's, you know, kind of what you're hoping for. It's just ever so slight mistake when you played that. Now you can play the hit and roll behind the corner, and if you make the roll behind the corner, you're going to be awful close to, even if you don't kill the second rock, kick it out into the open. I don't think they're going to, I initially didn't think they were going to likely to whip this down there, but she doesn't have a lot of ice.
Yeah.
Hangs the shooter in the edge of the 12 foot. So
yeah, I'm kind of liking that.
Second and third are buried now.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to clip the, and again, we're dealing with a blurry picture. I thought she was going to clip the stone at the back of the 4 foot, and it just went by it, I think. I thought where she hit it, she'd move them both. Which is maybe too greedy. You want to roll buried and kick the other rock out in the open?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Well, she's got Sturmay playing the shot that I think ultimately, I mean, in my head, I was wondering if she would play, and that is, you know, kind of do you get rid of the corner guard? What do you do when Team Gim has got, you know, those counters, potentially counters anyway, in the house?
Well, your choices really are to do what she's doing here, try to move 2 of them anyway, and it just drives it by.
Yeah.
Or the only other option I could see, now they're going to get maybe fortunate and roll in. Does it spin?
I think it did.
I think it's still 4th, though.
Yeah, it is. Because, I mean, if that rolls out, then, you know, again, game on. Like, does Gim throw the corner guard back up, you know?
Yeah, I think she's hitting the back one for sure here anyway, because
she is
content,
now, yeah.
She's content to have a shot for 2.
Yes.
The other option there for Sturmay would have been to come around the guard. But it's, you know, you're risking a lot.
Oh, are you ever?
Still, it's your own guard. If you can sit 2 with the one you were about to throw being dead buried, she's got to make a run double for you to be in trouble.
Yeah. The end is setting up really good for Team Gim. If she makes the double here, she knows that she's not shot.
Yeah. Does she go around?
Yeah, I know.
It's the other team's stone, right?
Yeah, I know. this looks like a jam. Yeah. 3's still in play. That was a big shot, but don't need to make that double there. You could be down to skips rocks and looking at 3.
Well, and you have to make a decision, right? Are you going to try a flat double and try to hold them to 2, or do you try to roll behind cover? The indication here for Gim was they're trying to stay in the open, and you get that too, right? If you roll under cover here, Sturmay is just going to freeze to the face of it and say, well, those 2 on the outside are not going on the scoreboard.
Yeah, she's not looking to roll too far. I mean, I would have thought they would have swept that a little earlier.
Well, the initial call was to nose hit, and I get that. You nose hit, Sturmay might try to roll behind cover. You make the double as hard as possible. If you roll too far towards that yellow, guaranteed she's playing the double. It's really flat now. I mean, it's there.
Yeah.
It's really flat. She actually could probably get across the face enough to go after the other double.
Yep. Yeah, she could. This is one of those pick your poisons, I guess.
If you make the perfect roll behind cover, that's probably your get out of jail. But if you don't make it on the first one, your chances of giving up 3 are just that much higher.
Mm-hmm.
She's just going to play this to hit and roll, it looks like. Hit and roll towards the outside yellow one and hope to have a chance for a double on her last.
That seemed to be the indication.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when playing the out turn, I don't think. Well, I mean, you probably could get a third of a rock and roll all the way over to the one on the left, but be pretty risky.
Well, they've switched the brush, looking for some curl here. She's going to make the hit, needs to hang around.
Yeah, she's gonna. Oh, no, she's
not.
Wow, I thought she had half of, I thought she was going to hit the yellow rock and just slip back.
Now, here's the interesting thing. It's
I
forced
know.
Yoonji Kim to think about it. Where do you put this? I don't think you want to bury it.
Yeah.
I'm going just fully, right there, just fully open.
Yeah.
And then if Sturmay wants to come around the other side, you've got your own stone to run back for 4, so I don't think she can play that. If she noses it, you're probably already sitting 2 and it's a draw for 3. You'd have to be a little careful not to leave angle for a triple, I guess. You come in around the guard, it's almost guaranteed she's going to freeze to it. They've talked about back 12 over kind of by the Jurassic.
I like that personally, but
yeah, how do you get there? By the time you're by the center guard going to that corner, it's tough to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you end up too close to the other yellow, you're just leaving a double anyway.
Well, I mean, the bottom line is you started this end looking for 2. Make sure that the deuce occurs.
They've called the timeout. Coach is out.
Yeah, if you could walk it down, I'd like it there.
Yeah, I'm just not sure if you. I don't think Sturmay's going to let you walk it down. You're going to have to throw it, and with draw weight from either turn, I don't know how you're getting there. Like to get there from the out turn, you'd have to stand 2 sheets over with the broom, and from the in turn, they move so hard from the hog line in. By the time you buy that guard at that deep, I think you're going to be more over, which is fine. Your line will be farther over where it's going to leave a double. Now, where I say it's fine. The double you're going to leave, it's not like she's going to have a chance for a double and roll behind. She's going to have to hit it on the nose or maybe even slightly on the outside. And that means you still got a shot for 2. I'm sure this was part of the conversation for the Sturmay team as well. They had the opportunity to meet with their coach and discuss things during the timeout, knowing where she's going to go if she makes it. What are we playing?
Well, based on your previous story, they better not have been talking about babies.
Well, what was in the diaper is close to what they're in right now.
That's right. that's so true, eh? I really do like this call. Again, it's just a matter of, as you said, like, can you get it there? That is great. That is absolutely well thrown, well thought out, and despite our reservations about being able to get it there,
she almost. I mean, she was very close to the center guard going by and had to be to keep that line. And she's made the double as tough as she possibly could. I mean, it's there, but it's a slash double. You make it, you got to lose the shooter, and it's a draw for 2.
Yeah.
And this isn't made yet either. That is
so
you
true.
know, you're half a rock would be close, I think. Quarter of a rock probably jams. We know that Selena can throw some weight, and she does throw a lot of rotation on these out turns too. Inside brushers down.
She's got a nose.
She's thick. By the back one.
Yeah.
Shooter rolls out of play. It's a chance to draw for 3 here. First thought was to draw to the middle, and they quickly talk her out of it. We just threw this one. Let's throw it again. I don't know why you'd flirt with that center guard again. Like she had to flirt with the outside of it. They did tighten up the ice a bit, so they're actually drawing a little bit wider here, but it's a similar path.
Yeah, this has just been a really big end for Team Gim.
Well, yeah.
Free draw for 3 puts them in a really good position heading into the 7th end.
Huge in a game that hasn't had a crooked number yet, that they're going to put up 3 here.
Yeah. And then over on the other semifinal game, we've got Team Wang up 4-3 on Kate Cameron playing the 8th end, and Cameron has the hammer. Both sweepers are right on it, out of her hand.
Yeah, line's not going to be the issue here because this has already started to curl.
Yeah.
Needs full 12. There is a biter, red biter at the top of the 12 on the other side, and this is curling.
Everybody's out. And
good job by the brushers.
Yeah.
Bring it in. Catches even a piece of the 8-foot.
Right out of her hand.
3 points on the board for Yunji Gim here in the 6th end. She takes a 5-3 lead. Selena Sturmay will have last rock in the 7th.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Well, Selena Sturmay trails by 2. She does have last rock as we begin play here in 7. But only one crooked number on the board. She's going to have to play a little bit aggressively, I would think, here in 7. Gyeonggido, and this goes back to the odd versus even ends thing. She throws the center guard here, and it does just hang on to the center line. You know, if she was 2 up coming home, the even end, I think you'd see them call that first stone right into the rings. Selena Sturmay asking Paige Papley to make the corner guard. Gyeonggido will likely play the come around the center, then Papley will look to come around her corner guard, and then things should start to get interesting after that.
That's right.
It's like we talked about. There's only just so many scripts they can play for the start of these ends, and then it can go any which. So many different directions after that. It all depends on the angles and the weight and how well each shot is executed. It's funny to think about when you think about there's only just so many ways they can start and end, and yet so many possibilities for how it goes from there.
So true.
Made the come around center. Here comes the come around on the corner. You almost want them to hurry up and make these shots because I want to see how you're
That's
how
right.
you're going to deal with it. It's a given. These leads just don't miss. We're just walk these ones down.
Yeah, that's right.
And then let's see what you're going to do with them.
That hangs on at the back.
And you know what? When you got last rock, that's okay.
Yeah.
You've got room to get 2 around the corner guard. Not that you necessarily get to play another one right away. Behind the tee line around this other team's center guard, bad. Behind the tee line behind your own corner guard, not so bad. So going to look to come around, I think. Probably stay in front of their own stone. Corner freeze their own shot rock, maybe? Or try to get right to the face, I guess.
I think that was the call, yes.
Both brushers on it early. Now they backed away.
It's light.
It's not getting by either.
Yeah.
So it's a second center guard now, which
That it
isn't
is.
necessarily a bad thing either. It's if you want to make sure that Sturmay can't blank this end, Well, there's a lot of rocks in play to try to blank now. Sturmay has already taken a look and said, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can start cleaning up the center. And so she's going to play the, hopefully double peel, I think, on the yellows. I don't imagine she wants to just straight peel here. Catches just the top one.
Yeah.
Well, this would suggest to me that Gim's okay with a blank end. She's going to peel the corner guard here.
Yep.
Not a straight peel. I think they're trying to roll their shooter over towards center and maybe keep it in play. But open up that back one and get the play away from the corner for sure.
This looks like it's pretty close to a nose hit. Ooh.
Yeah, that doesn't really help you much.
Yeah, it's those shots that end up making you not look very bright as a skip.
Sturmay trying to get a couple of things off this out of this shot. Get that guard off the center line and get a rock into the rings as well. Just playing this as a split. It's a draw weight split even. You don't have to kill the yellow. Just get it off the center line. Get your shooter into the rings.
This one's kind of busting now hard.
Yeah, I think you got to go on the brush.
Yeah. As long as it gets out, and the yellow one gets out, yeah, that's still not bad.
Yeah.
It's sometimes in these situations where you actually start thinking, you know, how do we not give up 3? and those tend to bite you, you know, real quick. You know, you've played the whole game a certain way, and you know, why do you need to, you know, make a radical change? Like, I understand the whole notion of not giving up 3, don't get me wrong, but I don't think everybody's on the same page here, and
well,
that
no,
is the one thing you want to do.
It's a tough spot. The double peel's not a give me, and you're not running it the way you'd like to. Like, if you're going to play the double peel, you got to play the yellow over top of the red. If you miss the red, you're going to clip your own stone out of the 4-foot. You've left them with a corner guard and shot rock.
Yeah.
So there's some discussion about just forget the yellow guard, just get rid of the red one tight to the rings. And try to roll in.
I like that personally.
The double peel's great if you make it. The problem is the very close miss could be very bad. So it's a lot of risk to take it on.
This looks pretty close.
Well, it's close.
This is looking good. Good shot. I love the weight choice. Real good.
Gets a little spin back at the end to get a little closer to the 4-foot. So Gim sits 2. Wide open. Double would be there if you need it. They don't need to play it at this point in time, and you see them looking at the hit and try to roll to the corner of that other stone.
this one here.
Yeah, looking for curl now. That's a plan B. They realized they weren't going to get the roll over to the corner of the yellow, tried to roll big behind the corner guard, and didn't get there.
That's right. Now Team Gim's got a chance at actually making the double and staying in the house.
Yeah, I don't think you're rolling that big if you're making the double. She indicated roll all the way to the other side. That kind of looks like it's got jam written all over it to me. You're looking to hit this just off the nose, make the double, and roll into the back of the forefoot.
Mm-hmm. Looks close. Yep. Yeah, good shot. Sturmay's probably now got to start thinking how she scores a skip's deuce now.
Yeah, I was just counting stones myself. That's too many. We're on thirds last. If it was thirds first, you might think about just coming around the corner guard.
Coming around the corner guard, yeah.
But I think we're too late. I don't know how you bring it back into play then. So she's looking at the corner freeze on the shot stone. And if Gim doesn't do something with it, she could always come off of it to double off the other stone.
Yeah, the difficulty with the skip's deuce is there's no real rocks, out in front to get around, so it's going to have to be a freeze if that's what they are going to accomplish.
Just over curls on her too.
Jeez,
weight was really good, weight, but they lost the line.
Yeah.
Now, what do you do here if you're Yoonji Gim? I mean, you could hit that on the nose, but then you've left angle for double on the yellows. Not that she's necessarily going to play it on the first one, but it gives her the option to play something else, right? Because she's got a double available on her last one. If you hit the yellow, if you hit the red on the inside, it's hard to just peel the red and roll out. You might be able to hit it on the center line side, half a rock, and roll between the two yellows and get out of play.
Well, and I think Team Gim's got to be saying, well, we've eliminated the three almost. Come on, skipper.
Yeah, she's almost eliminated the deuce.
Yeah.
Well,
she has left Sturmay a better opportunity probably to freeze.
Not even, I don't think, critical that she's shot rock here, because that moving that yellow stone just a little bit, the shot rock, has meant she could come off the yellow on the other side, come across and nudge it with her last one if she needed to get two. So just lock this right on the face. I don't even know if Gib would be able to. She's got that yellow at the top of the 8 foot. I don't know if she could even run it in and try to blast it out, because it's liable to come into the yellow at the other side of the 8 foot. So it's an opportunity for two. If you can lock this right on the face, I don't know how she gets this one out.
Yeah.
Line should be close if they get it there. I don't know if it's all the way there.
I think it's pretty close.
Has to chisel, and it comes up just a little bit short.
Just a little bit short, yeah.
Be tempting, I think, if you hit the yellow first in the 8-foot, you kick the other one through the port of the 2 yellows, and your shooter will actually stay in front of shot rock.
They're talking about crotching it, yeah.
Well, it's very close to the crotch. I think if you're right in the middle, it might touch the yellow on the way by. It might not. I'm pretty sure if you touch the yellow one first, because of a little bit of drag, then it goes by. I'm greedy. I want to.
I can't. I'm starting to see that, Shawn.
Well, this is you can get everything out of this shot. Like, you could have shot rock sitting on the edge of the button with your shooter sitting in front of it. She can't play the double. She wouldn't be shot rock. She's going to have to draw to the button for 1 against 3, already down by 1.
And there's a little bit of heat on this.
Yeah, but she hit the wrong one first.
Well, she did, but I mean, again, mission accomplished. She's not giving up 3, and she's not giving up 2. Well, I guess 2 could still be in play potentially by playing the double.
Yeah, and I think she probably has to.
She has to play it.
The angle's there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It actually, if anything, it's a little thin on the first one to make the double. You probably have to kick it over the top of the red at the back, wouldn't you think? I don't think there's any way you're ever getting it underneath. So you got to kind of come into the side of that second yellow. You're going to have to hit a quarter, a thick quarter maybe.
Yeah, that's
way under half anyway. Half's too thick.
Yeah.
She's going to throw the in-turn into it, so she'll get the gear effect coming off and get a little bit steeper roll. That'll help. You know, you're looking at where the yellow is she's making contact with. It's up near the top of the 8-foot, and she needs to come into the side of a rock that's just in front of the tee line.
Mm-hmm.
She's close. Might over curl.
Really close, but yeah. Too bad.
Did over curl and over rolls.
Yeah, because if you only give up, or if you only get 1, it's you're 1 closer. But obviously, when you give up 1 now, you're 3 down.
So steal a 1. Yoonji Kim will have a 3-point lead coming home.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Calling all curlers, novice to pro. Ashland Curling Supply's patented rotator disc system lets you customize your slider right in the store. Velcro attachments make it easy to find the sliding platform that's right for you. Shop Ashland Curling Supplies, 700 McPhillips, online at ashland.com.
Well, 3 points separating these teams as we begin play here in the 8th end. And that certainly means that for Selena Sturmay, she knows what she has to do. And it is possible in the 5-rock free guard zone. You see it all the time. You see it in 10th end of the Briars and the Scotties and the Worlds all the time, that a team can generate 3 with last rock. You make your 8 shots, it can be tough to defend, especially with this amount of curl, but you have to really position the 8 shots, and in particular, these first 2 guards.
Yes.
Looks like they're looking for the tight one first. I expect when they're playing it that tight, yeah, they're going to get it that tight. They'll probably throw the second guard to the same side, higher, and make sure they've always got the other side of the sheet available to draw with the last one. I thought we might see here, we see it every once in a while now, and it's a shot that became popular in the doubles play, is that they'll take a corner guard like that and try to chip it into the rings from the outside.
Exactly.
And I thought we might see the attempt here, but looks like they're just going to play the straight draw into the middle. And of course, the reason you play that is if you do put it into the rings, now you can hit it on the next one, and you're only facing one guard for the rest of the end. Pretty hard to score 3 points behind one guard.
That's correct.
Two in the rings. Sturmay will have to ignore those, throw up the second corner guard.
And the winner of this game is going to get Kate Cameron in the finals. So Kate beat Team Wang there from China 5-4 by scoring 2 in the last end.
Yeah, looks like they had a barn burner over there too.
Yeah,
a close game up until the 3, and I mean there's still some question over who could win this game. Selena Sturmay's got to hope to get into an extra end, but 3s can happen. She's got the setup she needed. The Gim team probably not thrilled with where their first 2 ended up. They're in front of the tee line, but they've left a pocket.
Mm-hmm.
This looks strong as well.
I was going to say, this isn't really probably where they wanted it either.
Well, it's not really a pocket now. It's more of a wall.
Well, yeah, that's right.
Which, if you ask Gim, she'll tell you, well, that's not better.
Yeah. You like going behind the corner guards?
I do. I do. That's what I'm looking at. If you come around the corner, maybe Gim looks at the situation and says, there's too many for us to do anything about. We have to draw again towards the middle. And that's what you want her to do right now. You play the pocket, and she's just going to blast and kill some of your backing.
That's right.
If you go around the corner and she peels one of your corner guards, you're fine with that too. I don't think you want to give her a chance to kill the backing here yet. And
Yeah,
that's what she's going to play.
Yeah. If I were to call this, I played with a guy. He would lie down in front of the hack and not let me throw it.
Well, I mean, you could still make a good shot off this one. I think if you're playing this way, I don't think you want to be in the pocket of the 2 that are close together, which is kind of what they called it. If you could get on the corner of the one that's kind of by itself, so that when they blast it, they're going to squirt it over in front of that pocket. Well, this does not help you at all. You've actually bumped it back, just making it easier for her to get that redstone out. She actually could walk up and peel the corner guard now. There's always a way to kill that redstone now. You could kill the corner guard. Nothing wrong with this either. Make it. Now you know Sturmay's probably going around the corner guard on the next one.
Yeah, she definitely would not be upset, I don't think, if she took one of her own with her.
Or two.
Yeah.
Which she could do if she's a little on the outside. Well, she's not on the outside. That was gone to the inside early. That works out for her. Gets rid of two of the yellow ones, spills the red all the way over to just bite the edge of the 12, and it is out from behind cover.
That's right.
Now, Selena Sturmay has to use the double corners. I think you want to be right to the back 8 here. You kind of have to tempt Gim to chase it, right? I don't know if she will, but you have to try to
Yes.
put temptation into her mind anyway. If she can't get it at directly, she may not want to double peel the guards and leave you the chance to sit 3. She could hit the back one, but then you could get a chance to bury another one, and then 3 is definitely in play. This has got a curl and carry. They almost need to have both brushers down. This looks light.
Yeah.
This looks really light. This is just a guard.
Yeah.
Do you switch gears here? Too many guards to get rid of them all, and if you guard that one in the center, she's got to deal with it.
Or the hit on the back one. I mean, that's always an option, but it'll always be there too. She almost seems resigned that she has to get rid of that.
Yeah, I'm not sure this is the shot I'd be playing, actually. You could come in to the face of your own, sit on the inside corner. If you were going to peel, I'd peel the guard they just threw over the top of the red. You might be able to get 2 or even 3 moving that way. The long guard by itself doesn't really guard anything.
Yeah, the only thing is I mean, certainly I think the house is cut down pretty drastically with where the guards are.
The guards aren't going to stay there, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
She's looking at moving this, trying to get to the inside. I think you're dead freezing this one. Let her peel the guard, and then you go around the corner.
Yeah, because ultimately
she's going to peel the guard, right?
If she doesn't, you would at least be running your rock back into the pile. If you absolutely needed it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yep. But you freeze this. She peels the guard. You come around the corner. Then which one does she? I mean, one's buried, the other one's frozen. She doesn't have an easy stone to remove. If you try to chisel off, and it's going to be hard to get all the way behind the double corner, she peels the guard closest to the center line, and this one's going to be wide open on the next one.
Yeah, you can't bump it, and she's bumping it.
Yeah, well, they were trying to chisel off it and get behind, and I'm not convinced that was the right call. Now it could work out because she's going to try to pick the one out of the top of the 8-foot, and they did just put it behind the tee line, so you'll have another chance to freeze to it. But you only got 3 rocks left, and you're going to need to find a way to count them all.
Mm-hmm. Well thrown.
Nope. I don't see that going. How are you getting there?
Yeah.
This is where I think you have to freeze the yellow. If she gets all the way to the back 12, maybe this buries. But you've got to bury behind the double corner, because if you're just behind the single guard, she peels the single guard. This rock's open on her next one, and she only needs to make one go away.
That's right.
Absolutely welded on the face of the yellow, she's still going to peel the red guard. You come around the double corner, and now she's got to blast it out and get it all the way out of the rings. Sweeping for curl now. They've got more room by the guard than they would have liked.
Yeah.
They got to get this deep. Can they chisel it off the yellow?
Yeah.
Nope, they missed it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it just went by.
Yeah.
She's probably half buried behind the double corner.
Yeah.
Well, this is interesting because it's got Gim thinking about running the guard. She's got to go back to the draw.
She's playing the draw.
Don't like this either. You draw, she runs the guard back, she sits 2 behind cover, and she's going to have a shot for 3. Got to hit something. What's interesting about it is she was first looking at running the guard closest to the center line towards the one at the back 12, and if you ever jammed it on that other corner guard and spilled it back in, that's how you give her the second. She could be drawing to sit 2 buried. So I think you just straight peel the guard from the board side.
Yes.
But that was not what they were initially looking at.
I
This
know.
is the right call.
Yeah. I think she, like you said, I think she was worried about, hitting it and going off the front one there and rolling it into the house, or...
Well, she looked at it's an aggressive call to peel it that direction. I mean, there's a chance you can get 2 reds, whether it's the 2 guards or the one at the back 12. Great result. But what if you jam it?
That's right.
That's the only way you get in trouble. You just straight peel this guard, you're going to have at least 2/3 of a rock to hit with your last one. Sturmay probably has to try to draw around the corner again and Christmas tree it, I guess, is probably her best bet, don't you think?
Yeah,
and she's still going to have a piece.
Yeah, she's made this, so, I mean, yeah. She has to come back down there.
Like, if you don't throw, she could see half of the back one. So you need to bury 3/4 of this one, I guess, and then all she can see is 1/4 of a stone in either one of them.
Yep.
And you're hoping.
Yeah, that's when you cross the fingers and cross the toes. And put the curse on.
Yeah, it's one of the places where these lively stones actually work against you too, because yes, you might only show her 1/4 of a stone, but she also only has to move it 4 feet to be out of the rings. Mm-hmm. And these stones, the striking bands, are so lively. If she makes contact, even with a rub, it's probably going that far.
Really got a curl.
Yeah, she's in the ballpark.
Yeah, there it goes. Really going now.
Yeah, they've actually switched so that they're both trying to go straight. Well, they've got one of the brushes got caught in no man's land. They got her going back and forth, whether it's straight or curl. If it's 2 feet more weight, it's perfect.
Right.
But where it was, they needed to keep sweeping it to curl the whole way. Left her probably almost 3/4.
Yeah.
Just needs to make this go away, and she'll run Selena Sturmay out of rocks and put herself through to the final. Kate Cameron, who came through the B event, has already won the other semi-final. She's played twice today. Yoonji Kim had only played twice all Bonspiel before this particular game.
Halfway down the ice, it needs to curl a little bit.
It's still got air, I think. She's got to touch it.
Yeah, she's got a piece.
And again, with those lively striking bands, that's enough. Removes it from play. Selena Sturmay only got 1 rock left. That's not enough. Yoonji Kim will pick up the win here in the semifinal over Selena Sturmay after qualifying through the A event. That puts her through to the final. scheduled to start 7 minutes ago, so I think we're going to be a little bit late starting the final. They'll have to prep the ice. Both teams have a practice, but stay with us. You won't miss a thing here on the Curling Zone YouTube channel. You can also see it if you're watching on the Alberta Curling Center YouTube channel. We'll have the final for you in its completion with full commentary as soon as it starts. Expect will be probably about 35 to 40 minutes.
17:45, guys.
17:45. So what did I say? 35, 40, about 38 minutes, right in between. I said 35 to 40, right? I feel like that's 38 kind of falls in there. So that's the guess right now. 3:45. Shawn, Joyce, Terry, Corbin. We're glad to bring this semifinal to you. Outstanding game, and looking forward to another one in the final. It'll be Gim and Cameron.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.